To the Speedway Tavern, come and have your seat.
Perseverance is defined as persistence doing something difficult or delay in achieving success. This could also be a description of Jason Doyle, who's endured a tough run since winning his World Championship in 2017. But that terrific win in Warsaw on Saturday, which even a messed up celebration really failed to sour, means the Australian sits proudly at the top of the World Championship standings again. Yes, there's a long way to go, but after several years of being written off and being told it's time he vacated the top table, including by people on this show I should say, this may be a message to the likes of Ty Woofenden that things can be turned around with perseverance. Perhaps we've got a title race in our hands. Only in Speedway.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. First thing off, I'd like to say thank you once again to our sponsors, So-Called Studios. We put all the information out there about them on the website, and they've got a few events coming up which we will make you known about. And that was really good English, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
How much you have to drink?
Oh, not enough, obviously. I got to say, if Matt's getting too good at these monologues, he's going to take them over from me. I'm not happy.
Sounds so professional.
Yeah.
That's 23 years worth of experience, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, are you 23?
Experience of what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I was 23. So.
Yeah.
Wish I was 33. I don't want 23. So.
Let's not go there. I'm losing that one all day long. Jason Doyle, you said perhaps somebody here said perhaps he should have vacated his spot. I'm talking about yourself, I think.
I'm talking about myself.
Let's just get that. Let's get that
I'm
out there.
talking about myself. Yeah, but you know, you got to take your hats off to him. He was fantastic on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What was a really good meeting, to be fair. Really good racing track. And you just felt all the way through the meeting that he had the bit between his teeth.
I mean, you say a good racing track. I felt the first four heats. I thought, oh no, this isn't. But then it came
to life, didn't it?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And again, superb GP as it turns out. Obviously, Australian top two, of course, in the championship with Doyle on 38 and Jack Holder on 32. Mm-hmm. And as I say, maybe this time we've got a title race in our hands, because the last thing we all wanted was Bartos just winning the first Grand Prix and riding off into the distance again.
Yeah, which he hasn't looked like doing it.
Absolutely not now.
Like winning a Grand Prix yet.
Yeah, it's because he still hasn't won.
Still there or thereabouts, though.
No Polish rider has won in Warsaw yet, which is quite an astonishing.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Obviously, there's intense pressure. There's going to be intense pressure on not just him but all the Poles to win, particularly in the Polish capital. But it's not yet happened. But it's very close at the top, isn't it? You know, obviously Doyley's got a 6-point lead now over Holder and Smarslick. Robert Lambert's in there again. Surely it's only going to be a matter of time before Robert wins a Grand Prix. I think he's, just maybe lacks that little bit of ruthlessness, I think, at the end.
So, ironically,
because that's his nickname. Yeah. And again, the one
seems to make bad decisions in the final.
Yeah,
where he rides.
He just always has that one little bad ride, doesn't he?
He's definitely had the pace.
Yeah,
he's definitely had the pace.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt at the moment he's the top British rider. Mm-hmm. There's no. I mean, he's standing in the series. Tells you that. But the one that's probably surprised me the most is Kai Hülkenberg, because there's a few eyebrows raised, I think, when he was given a pick, but he's been really, really good in the first two Grand Prix. They're 7th in the championship, 20 points. And of course, he's got his home Grand Prix coming up as well. Of course, we're in Langshut on Saturday for round number 3.
So, what's the common denominator between these riders that are doing really well? Riding in British Speedway.
Yep. Well, Kai Hülkenberg isn't.
But
Robert Lambert isn't either. So,
but do you see where maybe that there's a little thing there, mate, for some riders to come back.
Yeah, and in the case of Robert Lambert, I don't just mean come back for a couple of minutes at the end of the season in the playoffs, but
Yeah, I mean, he's got. I mean, you got to say that he's not in British Speedway, but he's had experience at the tail end of last season, and he's probably going to get it. You would think.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think that would benefit him greatly. Him riding in the UK again. I think he needs that. Little
Talking of him riding in the UK, he is going to be riding in the UK.
He is in the British Championship, as is Ty Worthington, and as of course is Dan Bewley as well in the British Championship, which of course
going to be a great one to watch. I think
that's on a Saturday night. So I'm really pleased about that it's been moved. It's been a frustration to me that meeting for me should be the sort of treated as the jewel for British Speedway, and yet it's been tucked away on a Monday night. But obviously on a Saturday now. 8th of June. The tickets have gone on sale today.
£30.
Not completely. I think
we think
that's sort of regional of the prices. I'm sure there's people. I'm sure if there's any Bellevue fans that are watching or listening, I'm sure they'll be making comments about the pricing. But it certainly seems a lot fairer than the Speedway Nations pricing, which I think has really sort of got people back up
close to 100 for one match.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of money.
Oh.
It is a lot of money, really. So it's.
Yeah, it's a bit
for a competition that, I mean, I know obviously we've won it. We won it in 2021, but it's a competition that probably hasn't really captured people's imaginations in the way that the World Cup did.
No.
And of course we've got to wait 3 more years or 2 more years, I should say now, for the next World Cup to come around.
Which I think is right.
I think so. I do like the fact that it's.
Yeah. We've got a few comments on the.
We certainly have.
I'll
quick shout out to Pete, Rich, Dave, Simon, Jeff, Elliot, somebody called Lindenbuck, Andrew Garner, Pat, quite a few other people. I'll get into it. Not much rain in Birmingham yesterday evening after a meeting postponed, well ahead of schedule, says
There was a lot of rain in Birmingham yesterday. I was underneath it.
I'm going to say I don't live in Birmingham, so obviously.
I'm sorry, there was a lot of rain. It started at round about 6 o'clock, and it didn't finish until
call, really.
It didn't finish until what, 12 o'clock today, midday. It just didn't stop raining. It was so. Yeah, it was a good call. Do you know what? Even if it hadn't have been a good call, even if it hadn't have rained, all the weather forecast, every weather forecast that you looked at said it was going to rain. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But we'll come on to that because I've got a few things to say about that. So
nice to hear that all British GP riders are going to ride at the British final, says Peacock.
Yeah, we just mentioned that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot to talk about. Brilliant GP, no coverage from Eurosport and Sedgman back.
Oh, let's get into all of that.
Pretty amazing own goal really for the GP. Not if people didn't. I mean, I'm lucky because obviously I've got the Discovery app, so you can watch it on that. But obviously for those who hadn't, who just relied on Eurosport, I think they didn't start broadcasting until about nearly a third of the way through the meeting, and they didn't show all the meeting either. So,
no.
So why? What was the problem? Because
there were other things that were overrunning. I think it was was it the World Endurance Championship?
I don't know. I didn't see what, because I actually recorded.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who enjoy watching the World
it.
Endurance Championship, but I can't believe that. I can't believe that would have gone for that. I mean, surely they should be contracted to. If they're contracted to stage, they should be showing the whole lot, not just what they can fit on the schedule.
Yeah.
I know they've obviously got other contracts with other things as well, so I suppose other people would say the same thing about those sports. But it's sort of, I mean, there's always been a bit of a sort of a pessimistic attitude that people have got towards Eurosport, in comparison to the likes of Sky and well, I was going to say BT. It's obviously now TNT, isn't it? So.
Beggars can't be choosers.
No, I guess they can't. I suppose we should be grateful we've got coverage at all, really. So,
absolutely, but it is disappointing. Is a good word. I think.
Yes, very disappointing. I think there's there might be maybe a few people. Maybe Phil Morris will be having a few words with the people at Eurosport for that.
I hope so. I mean, what I hope is that that with what's happening in British Speedway, which seems to be just turning a corner, we hope, he said, hopefully, maybe we can start attracting some of the bigger players in. I don't know why BBC haven't got involved in it, to be honest. They love their motorsport, and
it's a strange one. Even maybe at BBC Three, BBC.
Yeah, absolutely. But
BBC
anyway,
Three,
they haven't.
Or strange times of the night, keep that in mind. The contract with Endurance Champ says it must be shown live. Okay.
But they've got more than one channel.
They have, yes.
You know.
Duncan Bimpton wants to know what's going on at Plymouth. Has Plymouth started? That place is plagued with problems, delayed.
I think they are
They're running tonight.
They are
It's
running tonight.
12
I should,
all.
by the way, that's just to remind me, I should apologise. We have unfortunately missed the Plymouth meeting off the prediction league.
One job.
So, we haven't had many Tuesday meetings, have we, this week? So that's probably what's thrown me. So.
Yeah.
But
There was
we will.
Pete Classes, there was enough rain in Birmingham last night as we were putting the greyhound track sheets away while getting wet. And okay, do you know what? I said I was going to talk about it later. Let's get into it now. Pete makes a very good, and I should say Pete's a mate of mine as well, but he makes a very good point.
Friends?
Pete.
You've got friends?
I've got
Oh,
friends,
crikey.
yeah. Well, depends on
Well, shock every week.
whether my wallet's open. And it never is, by
That's
the
a
way.
rarity as well.
So, so there's more to think about here than whether the match could have gone ahead. I think in times gone past, last night's match would have gone ahead. It could have gone ahead in there would have been. Would it have been good racing? No.
No.
It would have been It would have been gate and go and follow your leader. That's the first thing. So it wouldn't have been a match as we would recognise as we'd want. Would people have turned up? Now I'm saying this not because of the Aston Villa match, which would have impacted us, but that's by the by. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people would not have turned up to stand in the rain for 2 hours. Would you?
No.
Would you?
No.
No. I mean, and I wouldn't, except I'd have to because I'd be on the centre green, getting rained on, because that's part of my job. And there's the other problem that people never, ever, ever, ever think about. Sorry, I'm getting animated now. The poor guys at the end of a match where it's been rained on, it's got shale everywhere. Have got to pick up those tyres and pick up those ground sheets. And they're volunteering to do it. And now I'm normally there helping out doing that, and it's very, very rare that we finish before 12 o'clock doing that. What time would they have finished? And we've all got jobs to go to the next day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that needs to be factored in. So all those people that are criticising Birmingham for, and there are a few out there, criticising Birmingham and making snide remarks about, oh, it didn't rain. Well, yes, it did. Get off your high horse. Ridiculous comments. We've done matches this year that people have had a go at us for running that were in far less worse conditions than last night would have been.
Yeah.
So I can't say what I want to say to those people, but just get off your high horse. There you go.
And it can't be just Birmingham. It must be
No, it hasn't.
same as
But Birmingham
other clubs
gets.
as well,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a really stupid question here, and you probably.
I know about Birmingham, so I can answer specifically
regarding
in
the
that.
weather. I mean,
Yeah.
was there ever a time where meetings did go ahead?
Yeah,
and
back in
people
the
rode
70s.
in
But
the
I mean, I
rain?
can. You probably know the photo that I'm going to refer to with
Of the Graham brothers.
the
Well,
Graham brothers,
yeah.
absolutely caked in mud and stuff.
So how did that go?
Well, it was a different time. People were much more inclined to sit out in the rain in those days, even at football matches, probably.
Yeah, I'll give you another one as well. The 1977 World Final.
Yes,
Which anybody who's seen footage of that
but
is just.
but it wasn't it was never a proper match.
No.
Never a proper match.
But surely it's equal footings for everybody, or is it not?
Well, it's not about whether it's equal footing for the riders, yes. But what about the poor guys that have got to watch it?
Yeah.
You know, and we're there to. It's an entertainment as well as a sport, and all of those things have got to be taken into account. And given that the fixture list isn't particularly congested,
Was it particularly
No.
more dangerous then?
well, yeah.
I mean, are there any figures to say that?
Well,
more
obviously, it was
injuries?
very obviously more dangerous then, but that's down to air fences and things like that, and slower bikes.
I'm regarding the weather. I mean, Do you think?
I don't know, but I think I don't care. My point is that all of those things have to be taken into consideration, not just can you get a match on.
Yeah. Well, the one. Do you remember I think it was the first season Birmingham after Birmingham reopened when they rode against Sheffield, which was on Sky, and that was in. If that meeting hadn't been on TV, they wouldn't have run the meeting.
No, they wouldn't have. I mean, to be fair, it was quite a good meeting, but
it was. But
I think a lot of that was down to the riders really trying, because I think it might be right in saying that it was the first time that the Championship or the Premier League, as it was in those days, had got a Sky meeting.
I think it was the first time in a number of years. Yeah, first time in about 3 or 4 years, I think. So that was
okay. So we got a few comments. Ipswich look to be really strong this season, especially when Emil gets his bikes firing up. Yeah,
he hasn't been convincing so far, has he?
No, he hasn't.
But
I have no doubt that'll happen. He's too good a rider.
Yeah.
Anthony Bailey, I was pleased it was called off given the forecast, and that's the other thing we should say. Every single forecast that you looked at said it was going to rain.
Yeah.
So even if they'd called it off and it hadn't rained, what are they supposed to do? You look at that forecast, you think there's no point in getting Pavlichki over and paying for his airfare and et cetera, et cetera. And that was absolutely the right call. Yeah. Hopefully we can enjoy the restaging in more pleasant weather in the summer holidays. Amen to that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a good shout as well. I mean, there should be a good shout out to all the volunteers, really, throughout Speedway. They give up their own time.
Absolutely. I mean, what Rob Rodden says, I think a lot of people forget that without the volunteers, they wouldn't have their Speedway.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
A big shout out to every single one that, and I mean, I do it myself, but I don't do it for that shout out. I do it because I love the sport, and that's what we all do it for, and we want to do our best that we can.
Okay, just give you an update from Plymouth. It is currently Plymouth 16, Workington 20 after heat.
Is this
number
Plymouth's first meeting this year?
6. No, they've had a
At
few
home?
meetings. They've actually. I mean,
they've had 2 home matches.
they've actually done well. To be fair, in the home matches, away from home, obviously, has been mind you, I think they had a decent run against Oxford, but I mean, you look at their team on paper, it looks a pretty weak side, doesn't it? You know, they've had all sorts of problems with the track as well during the course of the winter building up to the season. But I think that for any team, they have to be competitive at home. Away from home, obviously, is a bonus.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Which Birmingham weren't even capable of being competitive at home, were they? So last year. So.
Yeah, not last year, and hopefully we've turned the corner on that this year. What time will tell. And there's the other comment that we will get into about Justin Sedgman returning. Let's go back. So Linda Buck, who we don't think is Linda, unless it's there's been
a bit of an operation.
Yeah.
I hope not. I certainly hope not.
Plymouth have had 2 home matches and have won both well. They have been a definite surprise package. There you go. I don't think we said much about Plymouth at the beginning of the year, did we?
Yeah, which leads us very nicely on to Kings Lynn, I think.
And John Bird's actually bringing that up a little bit. I think it's okay calling a meeting off if it's down to weather, but not like Kings Lynn just calling off because of riders not available. Which one was going to miss the meeting, injured? Hopefully the BSPA stamp on that.
Well, there is a statement being released on the 7th of May, so a week ago, about this. Following yesterday's press release, following the announcement of the postponement of the Kings Lynn v Leicester fixture scheduled for the 9th of May due to the unavailability of Tobias Muslek and Patrick Wargeldo, both the BSB Limited Directors and Speedway Control Bureau are disappointed with the announcement and have set up an inquiry. I think it needs to be stamped down, because you can't just keep calling meetings off like this. I mean, it seems to be every single. Sunday night, you're always waiting for the announcement. Oh, Kings Lynn's off again. A week later, Kings Lynn's off again. It's, yes, there's always
no truth in the rumour that we did it to go Yabu socks.
No, as I say, I mean, it's it does seem to be and it was happening last season as well with Kings Lynn. I mean, I fancied Kings Lynn to do well at the start of the season, but it's been a nightmare start to the season.
Probably even worse than ours.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't say too much, obviously, because there's an inquiry going on, but it don't feel great, does it?
No, but I think
great. It's good that there is an inquiry going on, because what we've always said on this programme is that vacuum produces theories.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is not ever been good for Speedway in that sense. So it's good that they're doing an inquiry, as long as the inquiry is done in an open way, so that we as fans know what the results of that inquiry is and why that's the results of the inquiry.
Not just do an inquiry and then just sweep it under the carpet so that the mug's on the toast.
We've done an inquiry, nothing to say here. Walk away.
That's happened lots of times, which is equally as frustrating as well.
But I do think that rider unavailability is probably not a good reason.
I don't think it should be.
To particularly, presumably, they would have had facilities.
Yeah.
So, you know, so anyway, there you go. Watched the Sheffield meeting last night, says Pete. Where is their 2-minute clock? Answers on a postcard.
I wondered about that, because I didn't notice it during the meeting. So
that's annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at Birmingham we've jumped through hoops this year to make sure we're ready for ready for all the things that Phil Morris wants to be as part of the show.
Yeah.
I can tell you that our transponder system is working, up and running. I'm not going to mention any names. I know there's one other club that it is up and running really well. My understanding is that a lot of the other clubs have sort of gone,
I think so, yeah.
Okay, maybe, sort of thing. It's Elliot Hunt said it's just by the start line. There you go. Clive Woodier, the Polish Speedway shouldn't have been running on a Thursday, as this is Britain's race night, but it is.
Well, haven't I read somewhere that the Polish authorities do want to use Thursdays next year? Which...
So, yeah, this is... Do you know what? We used to run roughshod over all the other leagues when we was the kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did.
So
we used to say, well, no, you know, I can remember Zdenek Kudrin needing to ride in Czechoslovakia and us not letting him, and stuff like that.
Is there a hierarchy that says that you...
money.
You said
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, okay.
So,
well, I remember when Jakob Torsell was riding for Wolves and Chris Van Straten regaled this story that he told him about the terms and conditions of his contract with his Polish club, and one of the terms was if he was due to ride at Wolverhampton on Monday and suddenly someone in Poland wanted him to go and open a brand new shop
all right,
on the same night, he had to be at the shop opening. He couldn't ride for that's how stringent they are in Poland, you know. But of course, unfortunately, Poland pays the best money, don't they?
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So, riders off the season: Dan Thompson and Ben Cook.
Dan Thompson's done really well so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's bro. Not so good getting replaced by Sam Hagen. What do we think of that, by the way?
It's a bit of a surprise one that was.
I was surprised.
I think I was quite impressed actually with Sam Hagen when he was riding for Birmingham last year in what was a really torrid season.
And a difficult situation for him, because let's be honest, James Pearson was
very popular,
yeah, and still
he
is.
started well as well, James Pearson.
Yes, he has, hasn't he? Yeah,
and
I'm so pleased to hear that and see that
in a Glasgow team that hasn't actually been that convincing so far as either. So
was it 45-45 against Edinburgh?
No, they lost, didn't they?
Did they lose? 45?
No, it was a draw. Sorry,
was
yes.
that one? Is that one of the draws that I picked?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it
see
was.
where you were going with that.
Shucks, yeah. Oh dear. Oh, well, there you go.
Anyway, there has been a team change at Birmingham, so obviously
okay.
The floor is yours, Mr. Harris.
I only literally heard about this as I arrived at the studio tonight, because I've been a very busy boy today. Oh God, where do I start? I think the first thing to say is that it's probably a better rider than Milic has shown. I mean, I think Milic, there's definitely a good rider in there.
Yeah, I mean, the Milik that rode against Sheffield on the opening Birmingham's opening night of the season. Perry Bar was excellent,
Wasn't it?
But that's just not been seen since,
No.
unfortunately. Certainly not on a consistent basis.
No, not at all. He hasn't made the gates like he made on that night. You need to give yourself a chance at the gate at least. And he dropped down to reserve, and we all thought, well, here we go.
Yeah.
He'll be good in reserve, and it didn't. It's only had 2 matches, but it didn't really happen for him, did it?
No.
One of those was at King's Lynn, which is, I think. Am I right? Was it King's Lynn or was it Sheffield?
It's King's Lynn.
King's Lynn,
Yeah.
and that's the sort of track that you would expect him to. It's more Polishy.
Bellevue.
In size
and obviously
than
Bellevue as
Bellevue,
well.
yeah.
Bellevue was
So-
always going to be a tough one anyway. But it's maybe a few eyebrows raised with the return of Justin Sedgman.
Justin Sedgman.
I think it's fair to say the general performance of the team from Birmingham last season sort of dragged everybody down, and he was one of them really. He just never got going. So, but he knows the track. He knows the track well. He knows the promotion. So
He won't be captain, of course. So
that's one thing that probably is going to be a benefit for him.
Yeah, I think so. The first thing to say is welcome back.
Yeah, for his third spell, I think.
Yes.
Third spell, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I just remembered something else I would want to talk about as well.
Oh, this is something we were talking about off air as well. Gentlemen, what do you think of the price of tickets for Speedway of Nations at Bellevue?
Yeah, we've just been. We think it's
over the top. Myself,
absolutely over the top. Not set by Bellevue, as I understand it.
No, that's right.
So over the top. It's going to be interesting to see what the take-up is. That's the proof of the pudding right there, isn't it?
It'll be interesting to see how many polls come over, because there's a lot of negativity about that competition from the polls.
Yeah,
probably because Poland never won it.
Never won it.
So.
Okay, so yeah, getting back to Justin. Welcome back to the Sedgehammer.
Yeah,
that name was first coined here, by the way, in 2010, I think it was. I think he's showing. He's not had a bad start to the season.
No, he hasn't.
And also reading between the lines of what's been said, this is not, to the joy of many people out there, and I'm sure, this isn't a Lawrence Rogers appointment.
Yeah.
This is a Sam Ermolenko appointment. And so that's, Sam doing his job.
Yeah.
Been speaking to other people as well. Be interesting to see if there's going to be
any more changes.
But yeah, Dave Twine, what is wrong with Worrell? Not riding great this year. He's not been doing so bad in the lower league, has he?
No, he hasn't. But he was when he was a bit like this last season with us. He had a good season in the top league, but didn't do so well with.
He's moved to the number 2.
Yeah, which I think is beneficial to him.
I think
because he is number 2. I don't think he's a heat leader.
I think he's done much better since he's got to that number 2.
Yeah.
So, maybe his season's. As far as to what is wrong with, I don't know.
Of course, he is captain as well.
Yeah,
so that puts a little bit of extra on his shoulders, doesn't it? So
absolutely. So maybe that's something that Sam will possibly need to look at.
It's now 18-24 at Plymouth in favour of the Workington Comets. Craig Cook, Klaus Wissing and Troy Batchelor each winning both of their first 2 rides. Craig
Cook started well as well.
Troy Batchelor started well as well. They've had a good start. Workington, I think a lot of people sort of were a bit unsure about that side.
Wasn't we?
Yeah, but no, they've done well. Incidentally, I was talking to somebody who went to Workington. It was the first visit there. I think it was at the Birmingham's match with Bellevue. Really, really impressed with it. Fabulous place. It's something a lot. It's a long way to go, admittedly, but it's well worth the long trip.
Absolutely. Speedway of Nations is a great tournament as smaller nations can compete at the top level.
Well, they did, but we did push the Poles very close in the World Cup on their own backyard as well. So
I think the Speedway of Nations is basically a placeholder.
Yeah,
it's and it's a good idea. I think it's a great.
Yeah.
I do like it.
It's something different, isn't it?
It's not the World Cup, but it's great that we only have the World Cup every 4 years, every 3 years? I can't remember what they ended up.
Yeah.
Because I've always said that every other. You look at the Rugby World Cup, how popular that's become now. Every 4 years.
So what do you have to do or be to be part of the Speedway of Nations? Is there a
Be a
criteria?
Speedway nation.
Yeah.
There's no other criteria.
Yeah, be a Speedway nation, and yeah, essentially.
There's basically everybody.
Yeah. Well, it gives more countries a chance.
Yeah, because you've only got to find three riders, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've only got to find three decent riders.
Whereas with the World Cup, you've got to find
is it five? Is it?
yeah. And with all due respect to nations like France,
Germany,
they are never going. And Germany obviously might be slightly
They're
more
coming up
competitive.
a bit
They are a
more
bit.
now,
They are improving. Germany as a nation.
but yeah, or New Zealand. Which,
Well, New Zealand many years ago, they would
Yeah.
love the Speedway Nations, wouldn't they, with the Messrs Major Briggs and Moore? But
Yeah.
that's obviously sadly a long time ago now. So.
yeah. Britain no longer have this is Jeff Daniels. Britain no longer have rights to Thursday. We gave it up in exchange for the Poles to release top riders to ride over here. Riders could only ride in 2 leagues, but extended it to 3 leagues for rights to Thursdays. I've no idea whether that's true.
Yeah.
Is that what you've heard?
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had the points spare to sign. We'll talk about back to Birmingham and Sedgey now. We had the points spare to sign a real number 1, but I get it. Who's available, etc. Can we afford one? We don't know, do we? Well, firstly, we've still got the points to spare to sign a good number 1. This hasn't changed that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody available? Possibly. We don't know.
Yeah, we have heard whispers, haven't we?
We have heard whispers to which we don't really want to say because you know what Speedway's like.
Yeah. And because you won't be allowed in the stadium again.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a hope of a particular rider, but we'll see. But it's only a hope. I've got no inside information on it.
Yeah.
What was the? Can you go back to there? Was something else I wanted to say about that? And can we afford one? I think the answer to that's probably yes.
Nigel Tully's gone on record as saying that it's not an issue, is it?
Yeah.
He said, I think he name dropped
People
Barter. He name dropped Barter Smarsley, didn't he? He said
Yeah.
money wouldn't be an issue, but
We keep getting this from people saying, "Oh, that they've had to build to a budget," and that's why. That's not why we got the team we got. We got that team because that's what was available.
because it was a late.
And we was late.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that have been documented. We've had 2 seasons of that happening now.
Yep.
And we really need to be on the front foot next year.
As the
If
producer
indeed
bored.
there is, yeah. If indeed there is a next year, he just walked out the studio.
Yeah.
Right, shall I go and fiddle with his knobs?
Oh.
And let's stop it. So yeah, we don't know is a reasonable assumption there, but I don't think we'd be talking silly money,
No.
but I don't think money's necessarily a
But
problem.
we wouldn't be talking pennies either.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah. However, the only other thing that I would say about that is that we're running out of time.
Yeah. That's right.
So it's ridiculous to say that in May we're nearly halfway through the season. There you go.
Cool. Just something I want to implement. Maybe we could do it every week.
Okay.
For those who have watched a bit of Speedway.
Where did you go to, by the way? You just disappeared.
When?
When? Just.
Yeah, no, I just went to the little boys' room.
Oh, so.
Okay.
Obviously.
The tiny
Was you
boy.
fiddling with my knobs? Because I did
It's
hear you.
ironic, isn't it? He has just suggested that.
Yeah, for
not going to do it now. Know where you've been. Anyway,
for those who watched a bit of Speedway this week, who across the board, who's your rider of the week?
that's a good idea.
I think we should do it every week and then
Yeah.
just jot it down. If you pass me a pen and I'll write this one down, and, for when
And we'll not give them a prize at the end of the season.
we certainly won't.
No.
No. They can have the accolade of being the one that was picked.
Okay. I'll have a think about that while we go.
Okay.
We know the 3 GP riders who are riding the British final. Who are the other 13 going to be?
Have they announced the full lineup? I don't know whether
Don't
they have
know.
yet.
I'm hoping Tom Brennan will be there.
But we'll find out for you. So
Rich Thomas has said that the Speedway of Nations has taken over from the World Pairs relay. Sort of has and sort of hasn't.
So is the World Pair something that still goes?
No.
No. Okay.
This is the World Pairs is effectively the Speedway Nation now.
Right, okay.
Yeah. No, the full lineup hasn't been announced yet for the only 3 that have been announced are the 3 GP riders.
Simon Corbett, for some reason, says Kai Huckenbeck.
Rider of the week.
Well, yeah, we did discuss him. Of course, his performances in the GP. I mean,
I would say what he's talking about. Yeah,
I suppose
okay.
if we're going by that basis, you've got
Yeah.
to say Jason Doyle, haven't you? Because again, superb. On
But are we talking about in World Speedway or in just British Speedway?
Across the board.
Not necessarily for
Okay.
winning,
Okay.
but maybe for effort or for just something
Okay.
something spectacular.
Right, I would like to bring up another subject. Okay, if I may.
Okay.
Jason Garrity. Yes. Thoughts, please. I presume, Chris, you don't know what we're talking about. Would you like?
No, I've seen a few headlines today. No, explain.
So you know who Jason Garrity
Yes.
is, of course. He rode for Birmingham the last time he was in a Speedway team. We was always looking forward to him being signed for the next year, and then he went and did something incredibly stupid and incredibly diabolical, I think would be a good word.
Okay. Absolutely, yeah.
And was sent to prison.
Yes,
He's now emerged from prison having done his time or served his time
right.
with good behaviour. You get off a little bit earlier, etc. Don't want to get into that, but he's done a couple of skids out at Scunthorpe, said he felt really good on the bike and he'd like to start his Speedway career again. Now, so it's one fraught with lots of moral dilemmas, isn't it? Because you would like to say people deserve a second chance, even given what he's done, because he's served his time. He's sort of said sorry for it, not convincingly. I think it would be safe to say, because there's been an interview with him, with Bart Simpson, friend of the show.
Yeah.
And there was even thoughts that people might be thinking of signing him at Birmingham, given Birmingham's predicament.
I don't think there was any possibility of him coming back to Birmingham, is there?
So, you guys out there, for your team, whatever your team is, what would you say if Jason Garrity was signed? What's your thoughts?
Well, obviously, I suppose perversely, I'd be delighted if he signed for Wolverhampton, because it would mean we'd be running again. But it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because there's a real.
It's a minefield.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's always an argument. Well, everybody deserves a second chance, but I've got to be honest. It wouldn't sit comfortably with me. It wouldn't sit comfortably with me. I know the guy's got to earn a living, and obviously he earned a living before.
He was a talented Speedway rider as well.
Yeah, certainly a rider that you would that always sort of got you excited when you saw him because of the way that he rode. But I read the apology, to be fair, and it just felt like it was a bit flippant. The apology. So I would say no.
So my thoughts on it pretty much mirror yours. I'd add this. I mean, people have said, and they're right in what they're saying. I can't fault this logic. People have said that if he signed, let's just say Birmingham, if he signed for Birmingham, then he's done his time, and you should give him a chance, and that's what you should do. But my problem is, as a Birmingham supporter, I want the people out there on that bike to be, let's use the cliche word, heroes.
Yeah.
People that I look up to, people that I can cheer. I'm sorry, with the best will in the world, I couldn't cheer for Jason Garrity. So that would just that would be my team he's riding for, and I can't cheer for him.
Yeah. There's the other adage as well of what sort of publicity it would generate. It would probably generate negative publicity, wouldn't it?
So
I mean, Peter Clark said if he was a bricklayer, would he not be allowed to lay bricks? Well, you don't get thousands of fans coming to watch you laying bricks, do you? That's the
difference.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Unless you're very, very good.
Wow, you'd have to be very good. Yeah, I understand what Pete's saying.
Yeah,
and he's not wrong, but it just wouldn't sit right with me. I would find it difficult. Maybe that's a fault in me. I don't know, but
there has to be an element of trust, doesn't there?
Yeah,
Ultimately.
it was sort of both of those things, but it was worse. That's Dave Twine.
Yeah, we don't want to go into
We
it.
don't. I don't really. No, I don't want to go into. But if you want to find out, Google it. It's
All views are personal and a lot of the Speedway Tavern.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, thanks for that.
You mean yours then?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's been a bit of a recovery by Plymouth. It is now 26-28 in favour of the Comets. So that is after heat number 8. So they've banged in a 5-1 in heat number 8, and it's just been a shared result in heat number 9.
Right. Let's see if we can get through some of these comments because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
We've had a few people voting for Dan Thompson again, N.P.P.L against Sheffield last night. Doyle GP win last night. I'm actually going to say, see, that's not this week though, is it?
No.
I was going to say Tom Brennan, but so I'll have to rethink. Okay, sorry. Can you go back up again? I'm just reading some of the comments that have gone. A little bit more. Okay, go down a little bit. Stop. Anthony Bailey, I agree with Mikey's apology was pretty pure, to be honest, sort of blamed other people. That said, it's not for me to play judge. Rich Thomas says, totally agree with Matt. We're talking about Jason Garrity still, of course. Dave Twine says, sorry, but some of the refs have robbed Brum of a few points in the last few years. Well, we can all say that. I don't think it changes the situation where we've been, I think. But yeah, it has happened. Pete Clark said about the bricklayer. We've seen that. So you go a little bit further. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush through these now. Okay. Rich Thomas says, leave us bricklayers out of it. And Duncan Pepperton says, if he was wanting to lay bricks at my house, I would refuse. I think he's talking about Jason Garrity, not Rich Thomas.
Yeah.
And Brian Reeson says, Jason Doyle, the rider of the week.
Winning at the moment,
yeah. We'll try that over the next few next few shows.
And who are your riders of the week?
I'm going to say Kai Hockenbach.
All right, I'd split it then 2-2, innit?
I'll say Jason Doyle.
Okay, that's the winner.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else...
There's somebody, keep putting them on there.
Still more to come.
Okay,
so, well...
We have the prediction league to do now.
We have the prediction league to do.
Got the tables.
And
you can't not show the tables this week. No.
Okay, let's put it in studio mode so we can.
Because I believe I've made a bit of a comeback and I haven't actually seen this. So
you are standing at 9th.
I'm going to get a nosebleed.
Look at Mr. Matt Buck though, 4th.
Yeah, but look at somebody else in my family.
Oh, crikey,
Okay.
Oh.
There's a bit of nepotism going on here.
Is that at the top?
But then look who's at the top.
For goodness sake.
I'm standing
Somebody
at 20th.
Something in his tea, please.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. It's early days, yeah.
Halfway through the season.
No, it's not.
Okay, so...
We've got quite a few fixtures to get through, to be fair.
Okay, so let's do that
let's
then.
Start off in the Championship then. Oxford against Redcar.
Chris to go. Can't hear you, Chris.
Right, okay, what was it again? Sorry?
Oxford versus Redcar.
Oxford versus Oxford by 10.
That's quite a difficult one, isn't it? I'm going to say Oxford by 6.
I'm going to say Oxford by 14.
Okay, interesting. Very divided room here.
Yep, okay. Next up is Poole against Workington, also in the Championship.
Poole versus Workington, that's down to me. Well, I'm going to say Poole by 16.
I'll say Poole by 14.
Poole by 10.
Okay, next up is Ipswich against Birmingham on Thursday night.
And that's down to you. Thank God I get this one last.
I'll say Ipswich by 16.
I think you're doing us a favour.
I'll go Ipswich by 20.
Well, let's split the difference and say Ipswich by 18. I hate saying that, but there you go.
Okay.
It's such a strong team at the moment.
Kings Lynn v Sheffield is next.
Okay, Chris.
Kings Lynn by Sate.
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 Okay.
Satan, is that?
I'm edging my bets.
Sheffield by 6.
As far as I know, it's still on, so.
Yeah. Hey!
Yeah. Okay, what did I've gone for? I'll go for Sheffield by 12 on that.
Okie dokie.
Okay, moving on to Friday in the Championship. It's Edinburgh against Plymouth.
It's down to me, isn't it? Yeah. Edinburgh by 12.
Edinburgh by 16.
Edinburgh by 12.
Okay, Also on Saturday, second round of the quarter-final of the Knockout Cup, it is Scunthorpe against Berwick.
That's up to you.
That's a typical one there, because Berwick have had a good start, and so have Scunthorpe. I will go for Scunthorpe by 4.
I'll go Scunthorpe by 6.
Got to do it, haven't I? Draw.
Then on to Saturday, we've got Workington against Edinburgh.
Okay, that's down to you, Chris.
Edinburgh by 6.
Workington by 4.
Workington by 8.
You never know. You just never know.
Also on Saturday in the Championship, it is Berwick against Plymouth.
That's down to me, isn't it? Oh gosh, Berwick have had a pretty good. Okay, Berwick by 14.
Berwick by 22.
Wow. Hey.
Berwick by 20 then.
Okay. Then moving on to Sunday, in the National League, it is Leicester against Sheffield. Leicester by 16.
I'll go Leicester by 10.
Such different tracks in it.
Yeah.
Leicester by 16 as well.
Okay. Also on Sunday in the National League, we've got Oxford against Middlesbrough.
That's up to you, Chris.
Oxford by 12.
Oxford by 14.
Oxford by 10. Okay. And finally, in the Premiership on Monday, it is Bellevue against Kings Lynn.
Bellevue by 20.
Yeah, also the same.
I'll go Bellevue by 18.
Sorry, Kings Lynn.
Yeah. I do feel for their supporters at the moment. I know how they feel.
Well, they've had it for several years now, haven't they? Really since COVID, they've struggled every single season.
And it's a shame to see such a club full of history and I mean, not that far past being one of the teams to beat in whichever league they've been in.
Yep. Well, we started off by talking about the GP, but of course we haven't got another GP coming up this weekend. Of course, the German Grand Prix, as the Grand Prix returns to Landshut for the first time. I was surprised by this. July 1997 was the last time we had a Grand Prix at Landshut, when Hans Nielsen topped the podium. It's been an exciting time for the Landshut Devils team, which has made the leap into the Polish second tier in 2021, winning the championship and promotion to the first division at the first attempt. The venue has also staged top FIM events in recent times, with the 2018 FIM GP Challenge taking place, also the opening round of the 2019 Speedway of Nations. And of course, I believe it's a track that's also was designed by Ollie Olsen and Peter Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Okay.
Might have got that wrong.
Well, can we see the real Bartosz Marslik
Maybe, yeah.
this week? Do we think Kai Huckenbeck might have a little bit of...
He's going to have the support, isn't he? And he certainly, it'd be interesting to see what sort of crowd they get, because if there's a German rider going well, there's, I mean, I actually remember that the GP that was there in 97.
Yeah, that's because you're old.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was 15 at that time, but hopefully it's a better one. That I remember that meeting. That was a dreadful meeting. Hopefully it's a better meeting than that one. But
I can't even remember 15.
No, it was only 2 and 6 to get in there.
1997. Hans Nielsen won it. I think Brian Anderson was second and Greg Hancock third, I think.
Okay, that's a pretty good memory, if you're right.
It is. I'm fairly certain I'm right.
Rubbish if you're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, can Jack Holder show? I mean, he's had a really good positive start to the season. There's so many cans. Can Jason Doyle keep this form going?
Yeah.
Can the real Ty Woffington turn up?
Yeah, not just for a couple of races in the meeting either. So Freddie Lingman, of course, hasn't been convincing in the opening few Grand Prix, has he? I mean, he got to the final in the first one, just sort of.
Am I right in saying he started off slow last year as well?
I don't think he started off slow last year. I think he was solid all the way through the series. I mean, it's quite something. I guess I didn't realise Freddie's 39 this year, so that's but still performing at the top of his game, and was very close. Of course, I mean, obviously there was the whole thing with Smarsnik missing that one GP, but Freddie could have potentially won the World Championship last year. So
he was very magnanimous in his defeat. He said, he should have won it. He didn't agree with.
Be huge for Sweden, I think. Sweden haven't had a world champion now since Tony Rickardson's lost of his 6 titles in 2005. So
Anthony Bailey makes a point. Robert Lambert knows the German tracks well.
Yeah, he should go well there.
So I'm going to nail my sale to Robert Lambert.
You just feel it's not too far away.
No, he's just got to get that little bit, as you said, ruthlessness, and make the right decisions in some of those heats that he just goes to the wrong part of the track sometimes.
Just feel that one Grand Prix win and the floodgates might well open for him.
Yeah, maybe. Can we just go up just a little bit? There was a couple of comments I would have liked to have read. Performance of the week is always the Birmingham volunteer track staff. I would say the performance of the week is always the volunteers at any speedway track. They keep this sport going. I think we've probably got the best volunteers at the moment.
In your opinion?
And there was also, in my opinion, it's always in my opinion, Dave Tyne says, got to be Bomber's worst match at... Are you... What's going on? Worst ever match result. Vargama lost 22-68.
To Legion tonight, and he scored 3.
He only scored 3. Yeah. That's very un-Bomber-like.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned it a few weeks ago, but that video, of course, of Bomber arriving literally at the last minute.
Was that? That was.
And after all that, the meeting was abandoned because of the weather.
That was just Bomber.
Yeah. And they did a great video the week after, didn't they? The way they did it, doing an action replay, and getting there, jumping out of the van, onto the track, and the stadium's empty, and he's looking around. It's fantastic. Glasgow do some great stuff on social media. To be fair, they're very, very.
Absolutely. No, that was good.
But that's Bomber at the end of the.
Rich Thomas says Landshut is a great. It's track.
Yeah, it's a very, very flat track from what I remember. I mean, as I say, it's a long time since I've watched the meeting there, but maybe the track's changed. I don't know. But
maybe Phil Morris will have a bit of an input into that. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. 29-31 is now the score at Plymouth. They've just rerun heat number 10.
That's Sorp to play for there, then, isn't it?
Yep, that's right.
Wow.
Okay, so unless we get a big rush, this week's Speedway Tavern Rider of the Week is Jason Doyle.
Jason Doyle is his. Not a bad one to start. Not a bad one to start with.
Definitely. Excellent.
So,
I think he'll take the Grand Prix win, preferably though, won't he? Dory than that win.
Yeah. There is slightly, just a little bit more on that than. And we've got Jason Doyle. Will probably come on next week, and no, we won't.
Yeah. I'll just say we've had two, really, really great guests on the show, haven't we? Obviously, over the last few weeks. They obviously had Sam, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, and then Phil Lanning last week. And the Phil Lanning show has obviously got a lot of,
positive feedback and
stuff.
stuff. Yeah,
it was really. I mean, obviously, I was impressed when I was talking to Phil on the previous night, but really impressed with his performance on the show.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to say anything, really.
Really passionate about his speedway, and I think there was a lot of things that he said that I agreed with. Some things he said that I didn't. But
always going to be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, big thanks to people who downloaded the show as well. We managed to get 3 shows in the top 100 of the UK.
And we've only done 3 shows.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Or 4 now.
4 now. Yeah. That's pretty good going now. But yes, thanks everybody, and thanks to our sponsor as well.
Yeah, we don't know when the next guest we have on the show will be, but obviously we will let you know in due course.
Yeah, always looking for any suggestions. By the way, are gratefully received. Not just riders.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of diversify. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. That's the word I was looking. I thought up monk I said. So yeah, give us your suggestions.
Oopsie daisy.
Oh, YouTube. Nick Green, hello from YouTube, probably ages ago.
Yeah. Sorry.
And Barry Young, you're in Busterland now.
Buster Chapman, of course, yeah.
This is a fair point. We're talking about the Jason Garrity situation. Darren Reynolds says, "Hi chaps, the nature of his crime is the issue."
Stadium full of people shouting
SCUM.
I won't say the next word yet. Would be no good for him or for Speedway.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't. I couldn't share for him, but I wouldn't.
Rich Tulch disasters will be inviting on Mark Robinson.
He's actually been.
He has been on the show before, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Came to the studio, yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
Or it says in our song, "All opinions welcome."
Exactly. Yeah. Of course.
What can I tell you? That's the nature. That's the nature of this show. It's the nature of your participation in it.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
Without you, yeah.
There is no show. By
It'd
the
get a bit
fans,
boring
for
just
fans.
as the three of us talking, wouldn't it, to each other? So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that note, I think it's time to call it a day for today. There you go. Enjoy your Speedway this week. Keep in mind as you go around watching your Speedway and wherever and however you watch it that we're looking for your nomination for Rider of the Week, and we will see you next week hopefully. Take care everyone, have a good week.
Good night.
Good night.